Rocky's sentencing.
Good morning everyone. Welcome to GNN News. We interrupt this program with some breaking news. Last night, Rocky Lebowski aka the Nightmare Lobo has been arrested for child abuse. At approximately 12:15 a.m., he has reportedly assaulted his own son, Rex Lebowski, by smacking him in the head with an electric guitar. He's scheduled to stand trial later on today. We'll be covering this report a little more after a commercial break. And until after the trial ends, we now return you to our regularly scheduled program. This is Anchorman George Cunningham, signing off.
At the courthouse.
All rise for the Honorable Judge Alfred Smith.
You may all be seated. All right. Court is now in session. Rocky Lebowski, you've been arrested last night with only 2 charges that were pressed against you. Prosecutor Henry Maverick, read the charges.
Rocky Lebowski, you've been charged for aggravated assault and child abuse.
How do you plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor. My son stayed up late last night blasting loud music. I was only punishing him for it. I didn't commit any acts of child abuse. My wife was overreacting.
On the contrary, the way you punished your own son for blasting loud music was completely unacceptable. You could have just confiscated his guitar, or grounded him for a day or so. And there were witnesses at your house who saw what you did. So, I call upon my first witness, Gabriel Bautista.
From what my daughter Kylie told me and my wife, Rocky took things out of proportion last night. He hit his own son Rex in the head with an electric guitar. And he did this all because they were blasting really loud music at midnight. That's not serious enough of a reason to punish him the way he did. Therefore, I say he's guilty.
Thank you, Gabriel. I call upon my next witness, Evangeline Bautista.
Rocky's too hardcore and a bad father. He was too harsh on his son all because he was just rehearsing for an upcoming talent show at Springfield High School. He's so deluded, and I think it's pretty obvious that Rocky's guilty as charged.
Thank you, Evangeline. I call upon my next witness, Killy Bautista.
Rex's dad's a wild animal. Yes, Rex and I along with the rest of our band were blasting loud music at midnight last night, but we were only rehearsing for an upcoming talent show and that mad dog saw fit to hit him in the head with a guitar. Him. His own son. My parents would never resort to physically punish me even if I were to ever misbehave. Therefore, I say he's guilty.
Objection, Your Honor. Kylie and the rest of the band came into my house without my permission to allow Rex to invite them over. And they woke all of us up with their so-called act.
Overruled. I said it before. Your own son and his band playing really loud music at midnight, and inadvertently waking up the whole city is not a serious enough reason to abuse him. And yet you took that whole situation out of proportion by doing what you did. So be quiet right now, and let's continue on with the trial.
Fine. I'll keep my trap shut this once.
Thank you. Now we can move on to my next witness, Lance Rudd.
I never trusted Rocky. He's too much of a wild animal when it comes to rock music. Even though my son Bruce was into rock music, I would never abuse him for it. I just accept it. What Rocky did to Rex was exactly the sort of thing that I would never do to Bruce. Therefore, I say he's guilty.
Objection, Your Honor. Lance's testimonies got nothing to do with me. He's just making an irrelevant comparison between both our sons.
Objection, Your Honor. The way I compared Bruce to Rex was relevant because I was describing how differently I treated my son than he did his.
Silence. Order in the court. Order in the court. That's enough fighting. Rocky Lebowski, your objection is overruled. As for you, Lance, your objection is sustained. I call upon my next witness, Rudd.
Rocky's given rock stars a bad name. He smashed his own son in the head with his electric guitar all because the metal dynamite played loud music at his house at midnight last night. Therefore, I say he's guilty.
Thank you, Ava. May I have Bruce Rudd to the stand, please?
Rex's dad made a big deal out of what we did last night. He brutally assaulted Rex with a guitar all because we were doing a late-night rehearsal for an upcoming talent show. Therefore, I say that Psycho Wolf's guilty.
Thank you, Bruce. I call upon my next witness, Fred Armstrong.
Rocky's been too hard on Rex last night. He hit him in the head with an electric guitar all because the entire band woke up the whole town by rehearsing for an upcoming talent show. Therefore, I say he's guilty.
Thank you, Fred. I call upon my next witness, Helen Armstrong.
Rock has got a bad habit of jumping to conclusions in the worst possible way. He severely punished his own son Rex thinking he was up to something devious. But what he didn't take into consideration was that what Rex did wasn't as bad as he thought. It was only something minor. Therefore, I say he's guilty.
Thank you, Helen. I call upon my next witness, Roger Armstrong.
Rex's dad's the most brutal guy I've ever met. When the band and I were in Rex's house rehearsing for the upcoming talent show at Springfield, he barged in and hit him in the head. And the worst thing is, he used an electric guitar to smash him in the head. A flipping electric guitar. Therefore, I say he's guilty.
Thank you, Roger. I call upon my next witness, Gavin.
Mr. Loboski's got an even bigger temper than my mom. Last night when I was asleep, I got woken up by loud music playing at his house. But then he barged into Rex's room, and when I woke up, I heard on the news that he got arrested for hitting his own son in the head with an electric guitar. Therefore, I say he's guilty.
Kid, did you even see me doing that to my own son?
I watched the news report and listened to what the anchorman just said.
Eric has a point there. Rocky Lebowski, the incident from last night was reported on the news. Hence, the charges for aggravated assault and child abuse. Now, may I call Roxanne Lebowski to the stand, please?
Roxanne, don't you dare testify against me.
Sorry, Rocky, but you leave me no choice. Your Honor, Rocky and I heard loud music coming from our son's room. Rocky caught Rex rehearsing at midnight with his band, and after demanding the metal dynamite to turn their music off and interrogating Rex, he ran up to him and hit him in the head with his electric guitar. He took the band blasting really loud music way too far. I never should have married him if I knew back then that he hated having kids. Because what he did last night was child abuse. Therefore, I say he is guilty. And I want to divorce him and take full custody of our son. Permanently.
You! Backstabber! How dare you!
Not so fast. You will not lay one single finger on your soon-to-be ex-wife. And don't think for 1 second that you'll win the trial just yet, because now, it's time for me to call upon the main victim of the crime, Rex Lebowski.
My dad's become a psychopath. My band and I were in my bedroom rehearsing for an upcoming talent show at Springfield High School when he barged in to pull the plug on our rehearsal. I would have learned my lesson if he'd simply told me to wait until the daytime or early in the evening for future reference whenever I sign up for the next talent show. But no, he went all Pharaoh Wolf and hit me in the head with his guitar. Me. His own son. I'll never forgive him for that. I never want to see him again. He needs to be locked up for good. And for that, I say he's guilty.
Thank you, Rex. Wow. Just wow. You really are a terrible father, Rocky. So for that, I hereby find you guilty. As a consequence for what you did to your son last night, you'll be sentenced to 25 years in prison without parole, and you'll be forced to sign the divorce papers. Case dismissed.
Curse you, Rex. Curse you to the deepest end of the pit. I'll have my revenge on you and your mother, as well as the rest of your band of brats.
Officer Larson, take him away.
Rocky Lebowski, you'll be staying in the cell for 25 years for abusing your son last night. Don't even think about escaping. Nightmare Lobo.
Unbelievable. I've been sentenced to stay in the slammer for 25 years and Roxanne filed me for a divorce all because I was teaching Rex a lesson for causing a citywide disruption. Well, you should have thought about that before assaulting Rex with a guitar. Hush at it. Now you're just rubbing it in. The end.